What happens when you have an asset flip that's high quality? We discuss in 60 seconds.
This is the W2 Report with Sanji Homura. Here's Sanji.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of the W2 Report. I am your host, Sanji Homura. Today, we go over the ground rules with Lord Crocker Squirrel while we take a look at the lost sacred texts of Nebraska.
Rule number 1, be not the dick. Rule number 2, if you have any questions, please refer to rule number 1. Do not contact anyone that we are either interviewing or talking about. That won't end well.
And we will disavow any knowledge of existence. And that will be the end of it. Introducing our third man in the ring, Mr. Vaughn.
Well, I can't wait to talk about this next game, to be fair. It's going to be quite the spectacle, shall we say.
And bringing up the rear with the gear, Mr. Lindgren.
For legal reasons, whatever the guest will be saying is actually being said by me, moving his mouth with my hand.
Yeah, no, that would count as being a dick, Len.
No, he's a man of many talents. He can do it.
Well, I'm not being a dick to us.
That makes it okay.
No, don't be a dick to anybody. Stop that.
Look, it's a legal loophole. Let's just go with it.
Don't make me hurt you.
Speaking of guests, we have a guest this week. We have a Tess who will be joining us shortly. But first, our question of the week. What do you think of developers using volunteer work to develop their games? While we let you stew about it, and please type your responses in the chat or in the comments after the live stream, we will respond to each and every one of them. We will bring on our guest, Tess.
Hey.
Welcome to the show, and please introduce yourself and what makes you so cool.
Hey, I'm Tess. I worked with the people who made a game on Steam called Bodycam.
All right. Now, you had somewhat of a nightmare experience with those developers, and we are not yet using developers in air quotes yet, because you experience all sorts of lies from the developers, a toxic work environment, and a GDPR violation.
Yeah, sounds about right.
All right. Now, it all started when somebody from the group Sentinels of the Store linked me to this tweet. Why don't you go over what you can say publicly about this tweet, and we can go on from there.
Yeah, so look, originally I didn't actually plan to make it on Twitter. Originally, because I was doing work on the game in private, I just originally wanted to leave it as a Steam review and just move on with my day. But with how Steam is set up, I would have had to re-buy the game for me to be able to leave a review, even though I have game time and stuff like that on it. So I didn't want it to be a case of I just, said nothing. Then, if other people end up dealing with bad stuff, I'd feel like a bit of a not so good person. So I just thought, look, I'd go on Twitter, I'd say what I have to say, and I'd leave it at that.
Now, you originally posted this without receipts first, but you did come up with some receipts.
Yeah. So when I originally made it, look, to be honest with you, I didn't expect it to gain like any traction at all.
It seems like it did.
Yeah, like look, I was having a nice time. I was like chilling out, and I was like, look, I'll check Twitter, see what's going on. And then it was like it started getting like likes and reposts, and then comments on it as well. I was like, oh, okay, I guess people are starting to see it. So then what happened is a content creator for the game reached out to me and was pretty much saying like he needed proof and stuff like this. Because like him and then someone else who was streaming on Twitch was talking about it. And they were like, look, there needs to be some sort of proof for like what you're saying, because otherwise it's he said, she said type stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So originally I just was gonna give proof to the people who, actually like what I was talking to about it, like used other content creators. But I thought to myself that at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, like me posting that quite literally just adds more weight onto what I'm saying.
Absolutely. Now, I don't want to get sidetracked with this conversation, but there was a lot of echoes with the day before and how they handled volunteers, with basically treating everybody like scum. So why don't you explain to us in the audience how you even got onto the team to begin with?
So originally what happened is me and a few people, to be honest with you, we did kind of not slander's not the word I'm looking for, but we did like ask why the game was delayed like 3 times. It was delayed from, it was like the start of 2023, then it went to like the middle, then it went to Halloween, and then it went to Christmas, and then it finally got released like last week. So before it like actually got released and there was actual like proof that the game was being played and stuff like that, they put out like a message in the Discord, and they were saying how like they needed people who were good at like media and stuff like that. And at the time I was in college for journalism, so I was like, look, I'll give it a try. It's just something that I can hopefully learn from. So I went back and forth with the community manager, Neo Gold, and like eventually was like, yeah, look, we'd like to have you on the team, and that's how I got into it originally.
And that's this screenshot right here.
Yeah. Some people, they were saying like, hey, you need proof that you was actually doing stuff on it. That's as good a proof as any.
Right. Now, I'm sure the rest of the guys have some questions for you, so I'll turn the table over to them.
Okay, one at a time, please. All right. So, what can you tell us about the contract itself, aside from volunteer?
So I do have to be careful how I word this now because of the NDA, but pretty much it was saying that anything relating to the game itself I could not speak about. Well, at least stuff that wasn't already, public knowledge. Like I went over it, and Druckmann, a lot of the stuff in it is vague. As in they don't include a lot of like clear definitions for what they're trying to say. But it was a mistake sign, I can say that much.
So, what did they require of you?
Responsibility wise, or do you mean just in regards to signing it?
In regards, actually, let's have both.
So, for me to sign it, they originally just wanted my signature, which I was fine with, right? But once I had signed it, they were like, "Look, we need like proof of address." They needed like proof of who I am, right? So it was like a bank statement. They needed my address. They then also was wanting photos and stuff like that of my passport. Which, as far as I was aware, was going to be deleted as soon as it was confirmed. But apparently, they kept copies of it. So, in regards of responsibilities, as far as I remember, my role was like content manager, content creator. So I quite literally just had to go to like play sessions with the staff and then play for a bit, record it, and give it to them. And then if there was bugs or stuff like that, I'd have to report them as well. Which I did. I did do all of it, but that was pretty much like the extent of my air quotes responsibilities.
And other weird stuff that went on later. And it was volunteer only. And this doesn't sound like something would for at least even for that amount of work. Volunteer doesn't seem to cover it.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think if you're going to get someone to do volunteer work, don't lock them into an NDA.
Yeah.
And as well as that, I know Sanju's saying at least there was someone else who was doing like free work for them, but they also wanted that person to like sign an NDA, even though like it was unpaid, completely unpaid. And like everyone knew it was an unpaid thing, but like even so, people were still signing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this screenshot was from someone else who was on the team. They was removed roughly just a bit either before me or after me. Context behind it was we both got accepted on roughly at the same time, and because of the game size, the person they needed to get like an external drive, right? So they ordered one, and they were downloading the game and stuff. And like as soon as they got the game installed and stuff like that, and was trying to help out, they got removed there and then. From what I remember, so I had like private discussions with them, and this was part of the chat that we had. I mean, like it's the very same thing they tried to do to someone else, right? So, like, they used the legal threats. They asked for ID, address, information. Like, it's just crazy.
Yes. Now, let me do this here.
last I heard, Ireland took just as dim a view of GDPR violations as France.
Yes,
And the
I mean,
French do not fuck around.
no, 100%. And like there is a whole thing. I know. I'm not going to cover too much of it, but like Sanji knows that like before this all happened, there was a conversation between me and the co-founder of the studio, and pretty much was just saying like, hey, if you don't take this down now, we're gonna like push for you to be
Sued. Yeah.
in court. Yeah. Which, as I said to Sanji as well, like at the end of the day, I would have like left that tweet be, or I would have, you know, I would have like made it clear on it that we started it if he just explained how they were going to make stuff better than they dealt with it before.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't ask for money, I didn't ask for anything like that. All I was literally asking for is just look, tell me how you're going to make sure this doesn't happen again, and I'll just leave it be, and I'll tell people that we started it. Wouldn't do it. It was like you'll expect a letter in the next few days from like the courts and shit. I'm not fussed about it.
So bad because you gave him an out and he just didn't go for it.
Yeah, so I mean they can't say that I wasn't cooperating. I was trying to be cooperative, but
Well, there's a limit to that,
Oh, 100%. Like if I asked for money, if I was asking for like copies of the game and shit, then it'd be like, okay, look, I understand why you wouldn't accept.
Yeah.
But to literally ask just for proof that other people aren't going to be screwed over, I don't think that's I don't think that should be a hard thing to ask for,
No, it's ironic because there's so much evidence you're going to need, and it's almost like you're going to actually need a body cam here.
Not wrong.
Oh, God.
Not that I can think of.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to go over the privacy policy now. This is an archive of their privacy policy, and
you're not seeing it. Oh, there you go.
And there is a lot of stuff to unpack with Section 1 alone.
Yeah.
They want name, username, postal and email address, telephone number, unique identifiers, IP address, device identifiers, game service identifiers, advertising identifiers such as IDFA and Android ID. I know they can write. I know a lot of companies can write what they want on there. But can they really demand that information?
I would think not.
Like, look, a lot of that stuff is like you expect from a big company like EA or Ubisoft. You say, okay, look, at least I know that they're not gonna.
Yeah, at least they're not gonna fuck you
stuff.
over on that.
Sanji, look at the bottom one. That's the one I just reading it now. Is like, Jesus Christ.
Precise geolocation data.
And then
oh my God,
your username and your password, and then they're allowed apparently to collect your chats in instant messaging, so like Discord.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Is this the government? What's going on here?
Like that, it does feel like a breach of like a privacy.
Human rights, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Well, they've got enough information there with all the photos and whatnot of various pets, so they could just walk away with your identity in total.
Yeah. And I mean, look, I don't think realistically a 17-year-old and a 20-year-old are gonna, need that kind of stuff. I think, if anything, what it is they've probably gotten investors that were like, hey, we'll give you this money, but you have to
Harvest information for us.
give us information pretty much. Like, as well as that, even the one
Hell,
above
it
it-
even says it in section 2 for promotional purposes. To promote our products and services as well as those of our business partners. Yeah, I don't want to play this game out of sheer principle now.
Yeah. And then as well as that, it's like, if you look at section 1, the second to last point, it's like photos, images, account avatars, audio recordings from Discord, stuff like that. Anything related to the game, they can have.
Yeah, no. They ain't having it.
Do they also get your organs?
Probably wouldn't be worth a lot to them
Hopefully
now.
when I die.
Given the I'm not 100% sure that this is legally enforceable.
No, it's not. And that's just my personal.
Signature, I would be speaking to someone about the GDPR violations.
Well, look, there's only a matter of time until they get in like a lot of legal trouble.
Yeah.
But it still takes one person to stand up.
Oh no, 100%.
Now, this segues to allegations of asset theft, or rather asset flipping.
Yeah.
Now, you provided us with links to plenty of assets on the game.
Yep. So all the maps in the game at the minute are literally just like copy and pasted from this fucking that set.
From the Unity Asset Store, Unreal Engine Asset Store. Here's another one.
The Russian building in specific as well. Like, that's been the big one they've used for advertising to show off how like realistic the game is and shit. But they don't even make it.
Wow.
Oh, here's the body cam FPS kit version 2. Oh my gosh, this is not.
They've gone
This is worth $30 as well, apparently. So
they've gone from body cam to body bag real quick.
Yeah.
You certainly would. Yeah, I talked to a couple of folks that have spoken to people that have played the game. Apparently, it's janky as all hell. The control surfaces are off by a long way. That means your attempts at shooting things, that's not going to end well.
Well, at least it's realistic.
Doesn't matter how good it looks. It doesn't matter how good it looks. If it doesn't play well, you're done.
Well, let's take a look at a map that was heavily featured in advertising for body cam.
And Russian building. Oh boy. Hey, that's actually pretty cheap when you think about it.
it's cheap. I mean, like 2 people play the game, they've already got the money back on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On that one. The other one, the modular soldier pack, I think was $229.
$300.
Well, and now, to be fair, keep that in mind, though. They also got an $100K investment when they started. So, I mean, like, they still got like 90-something K.
Yep. Most of that money would have gone to pay people to do all the jobs that you were doing just by yourself. And that's like 5 hats. You should have been making some serious bank.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I can only assume that the way they're gonna do stuff is that like the people who are like managers and shit get paid, but I don't think anyone else will get paid. So I think Neo Gold and Zeus will get paid. Luca and Leo will get paid as well.
So that's the remainder of the pot split 4 ways.
Hmm.
Yeah, and keep in mind as well, this is a game that if you check on their star page, they say that it's going to be in early access for at least a few years. So,
Yeah. I think this is going to be one of those early access abandonment games.
Oh, I would not be
Yeah.
surprised.
Perpetual early access or indefinite early access.
Yep.
Okay, now let's take a look at a video that was heavily featured on their store page.
Or the game or the future game awards.
No, not particularly that one, but I want you to
future game showcase.
yeah, but not that one. Not yet. I want you to see how close they are to copyright infringement.
Oh boy.
I think we have enough to draw a conclusion.
Yeah.
What can you
Have you seen the original version of this video?
That was the original version of the video.
Okay. And you might want to show the modified one, shouldn't you? At least a little bit of it.
Was that we've got multiplayer music as well playing?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Just blatantly out there. Then.
Okay. What do you mean, Squirrel?
Okay. You're asking what was this video on their store page?
No, it wasn't.
Okay. So the other version would be whatever it is they put on the freaking store page.
Oh, you mean this? You mean this one? Okay. Let me pull it up. This is what was on their. This is what's on their store page now. I'm cutting it off because of copyright reasons.
Right. Yeah, good enough. So,
It looks good, but
And that's it,
there's a
Flip.
trailer. Yeah,
again, looks good and is good are like completely different animals.
exactly.
Now, if there is one thing that I have to say it's going for it, is that it is fooling a lot of people that they're not looking at the assets being used. They're not looking at the background of these developers. Now, if I can show one thing, this is how the developers treated their volunteers.
Like, that's what they get when the
That's
game
what they
released.
get when the game was released 2 days ago, 3
Mm-hmm.
days ago.
Like, you don't get a copy of the game. You don't get any, money from, working on it.
Yeah,
You get a little thank you message,
in Discord, and you're done.
If you want to keep being stuff, you have
Are they at
to
least getting?
buy the game.
I was wondering, are they at least getting a credit within the game?
Probably
I'd
not.
assume. Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah,
assume.
likely not. But yeah.
Now,
technically, it's a credit. Special thank you to all the volunteers.
Wow, paid in exposure.
Yeah, there's not a list. Doesn't appear there is a list, or there even was to be a list.
Yeah.
Now, as we show our question of the day again. Now,
Sanji, allow me for a moment. So, Tess, is there any parting words you got for that you have for people that might be considering this game?
So I would say, look, at the end of the day, if people want to play the game, they shouldn't be turned away just based on what I've said. At the end of the day, I'm just some person on the internet. I know the team behind the game have a mentality that I'm going out of my way to try and screw them over. By saying what I've got to say. But look, at the end of the day, it's not the way I'm trying to do stuff. Right? If it comes down to it, I tell people make their own choice. And if anyone from the studio does, end up checking this out, I have given the co-founder a way to start it. I've said, look, come, just explain how you're going to make stuff better, and I will stop it all. But he didn't want to listen. So at the end of the day, I've done my part. If my tweets do go down, I don't plan on taking them down. If my stuff on Twitter does go down, it would not have been me doing it voluntarily. I'll say that much.
Well said.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Right then, Sanji, back to you.
And unfortunately, this is where we're going to have to leave things off. Tess, I'd like to thank you for joining us for this week.
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, and anytime you want to join us, feel free to reach out.
Yeah, well done.
And until the next time we see you, remember to do all the YouTube-y things. Like, comment, and subscribe. And beware, the tax man cometh.
Hello, folks. This is Morgan Freeman. This concludes our broadcast day. I'm Morgan Freeman. Good night.